I'm saying this because it's true. Inside of us, we both know you belong with Victor. You're a part of his work, the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but soon, and for the rest of your life.
That sounds like some bogey. Could that be Casablanca?
That's the one. I'm so proud of you.
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
The moment of how you're feeling, spirit is starting.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 19 of the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast. This is Justin.
And I'm Joey.
In this episode, we're checking out the lesser-known prison escape movie Runaway Train from 1985. That is the year of our birth, which is the category for this episode. Plus, Hail Caesar from the Coen brothers.
And as a heads up, we do discuss our full thoughts on these films. So if you have not seen a movie, just skip forward if you don't want to get any foilers. I don't know what foilers are, but if you don't, I don't know what a foiler is. I guess if you don't want your expectations to be foiled, I don't know. But if you want to avoid any spoilers, skip ahead or pause and go watch, or that's the best idea. Go watch and then come back and listen to us yak. There you go.
And that little doggy, I guess, foiled the money from getting over to the Russian sub in the R1 movie, right?
Ah, yes, that dog did do some foiling.
And if you want to be a part of the Movie Club cast, make sure to hit subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. So, Joey, how is your summer?
Well, I don't have kids that are out of school. Well, that live with me anyway. So it's I'm doing the same thing I do all the time, which is go to work and then come home.
Well, you're in stupid hot South Carolina, so that's part of summer, right?
Yeah, that's the part of the summer I tend to try to ignore because it's too hot. Like going to work and leaving my house at 9 o'clock in the morning and it already being like 80 plus degrees is not cool with me. And I don't know what people are like. Is it? Oh my God, it's the summer. And I'm like, you're only saying that because it's been ingrained in our brain since we were 5 to the time we were 18 to 22 or however long it took you to graduate college. But that's your free time. That's the time you get to go and do shit. But it's too damn hot to be doing shit, to be 100% honest. Like, also, at $4.50 to $5 a gallon is also just too expensive to do anything.
Yeah,
so,
gas prices are steep. I think they're about $100 to fill up my car these days.
Oh damn! Oh, I was sad. It took me almost $40 to fill up mine because I drive a hybrid. So, going from like $16 to $20 to $40, and yeah, I know that's a lot less than your $100, but let's be real. It shouldn't take anybody like $40 or $50 to fill up their tank. Gas shouldn't cost this much, especially when they're just gouging, but that's another topic for later. So all I've really been doing is I've been on a big run through of How I Met Your Mother, and I'm almost finished with that. And then today I randomly decided to start the show Yellowstone, because I've heard nothing but good things, and it is pretty dope. I'm like 3 episodes in. It's pretty legitimate.
Paramount Plus?
On Peacock.
Oh, okay, Peacock. Gotcha.
Yeah, yes, it's a Paramount show, but it's on Peacock, and then 1883, the prequel, is on Paramount. I don't know. It was on the front page of my Fire Stick, and I clicked on it, and it took me to Peacock. So,
Okay.
and then yeah, the only other thing was I released a Schlock Talk episode like a week ago, Trailer Park Shark, which I had recorded a while ago. Unfortunately, it had some audio issues, which are kind of prevalent throughout, but it was only really bad at the very beginning. But it's gotten like almost 500 views in just like a week. So everybody, thanks for checking out my shitty Schlock Talk movie with my friend Sarah from the Run It Back pod. So
Oh, nice. So,
yes.
what do you suspect the all the hits are from? Did you guys re-record that part?
No, I just did like an intro. I just said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, welcome. Um, and just kind of was like, hey, it messed up. This is where we're coming in, blah, blah, blah. I mean, she shared it like on their social media and stuff. I don't know exactly how big their following is. They started about the same time as we did. I think they have a similar amount of episodes, because they released at a faster pace than we did, but then they took like a year off. So,
Okay.
yeah. But it was I decided, instead of like trying to redo it, like it was just really fun. It was the first time we had recorded, either one of us had recorded with the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, when you redo it, especially if you're trying to like redo something as close, especially being weeks later, it's never going to be the same. It's not going to have that same
Mm-hmm.
like flow and chemistry and all of that. So I just said, fuck it, I'll just cut the first 5 minutes out. I mean, you heard the first 5 minutes. They were, I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, it was pretty rough, unfortunately.
yeah. So
Okay.
what's going on with you for the summer?
Going into week 3 of summer officially. First week was pretty chill. Kids being off of school, and then I was a counselor at a day camp last week, so that was kind of like another job. But got off camp each day about 4, and was pretty exhausted. But it was nice to have that feeling of not like putting down work or whatever. The kiddo, Nolan, he's the oldest, 10 years old. He's in an all-star baseball thing, which they practice every day from like 5:30 to dark. So we've been going there a lot, quite a lot. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And then Wednesday, we're heading up to Upper North Carolina for another camp. So pretty much nonstop. But I have caught up on some movie watching. Saw Out of Africa. So that was one of the big Oscar winners I was watching with our pal Adam. And yeah, hoping to watch Everything, Everywhere, All at Once after this show, if I'm not too sleepy, but been looking forward to that. Any movies you looking forward to seeing?
Um, I mean, I want to see Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. That's a good one.
But it's probably going to be on streaming soon. I mean, it's in the top 100, the Mojo top 100, so I'm going to have to watch it if I want to complete that anyway. So that works itself out. I mean, there's some other movies that are queued up. Like I want to watch The Last Duel, which I saw you just watched.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see Licorice Pizza. I want to see Gucci. I heard, even though I know that movie was supposedly not very good, it still has a really good cast, and I still want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just tons of stuff that I want to watch. It kind of depends on the mood I'm in. So,
All right, let's get into that trivia for me. Let's see if you stump me per usual.
yes. Well,
We just vibe on different kind of trivia, so usually I'm foiled in that respect.
all right. So, how many movies have held the all-time number one spot at the box office?
How many?
Yeah, so how many different, this is the highest grossing movie of all time have there been? So not the current like top how many ever, but like,
Well, I know Gone with the Wind was in that spot for a long time. Not sure what would have been before Gone with the Wind. Let's see here. Titanic's up there. Endgame's up there. Avatar's up there. So, how about 6?
There's 11
Okay.
different
Do you have the
movies.
list? Do you have the list
You
right there in front of you?
I do have the list. In fact,
Nice.
I was about to ask you if you could name them, and you did name some of them. So you did name. I heard you say Endgame, Avatar, Titanic, and Gone with the Wind. Those are yes, those are some of them. Would you like? Gone with the Wind was the second highest grossing movie of all time. The first was Birth of a Nation.
Okay,
And
that makes sense.
then Gone with the Wind, and I actually closed the list that had the number of years they were number one and the amount of money. But like Birth of a Nation was like 15 million, Gone with the Wind was like 32 million, and then you jump to The Sound of Music and it was over 100 million, and then like Godfather, and then Jaws, and at this point now we start jumping like Jaws to Star Wars. It was like a several $100 million difference, and then E.T. was several hundred million more, and then Jurassic Park was close to $1 billion. Then it went to Titanic, and then it went to Avatar, and then it went to Endgame. And because of an Avatar re-release in China last year, Avatar retook the top spot by like $50 million, $100 million, something. I don't remember the specifics of it. So, yep. All right, I got one last one for you.
Okay.
Let me Who has the most Oscars? How many is it? And can you name the movies they're for?
Oh my.
I mean, you guess the right person. I'll be a little surprised. You can go from there because I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say is the answer.
Now is this like a technical category?
No, these are like no. This person they have 4 best. Oh, I just gave the answer away. Just shit. It's they have the best like further category. This is not technical. This is acting.
Okay, this is for an acting awards.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's won best actor or actress the most times, and what movies were they for? Well, it's Meryl Streep, right? For
no, she's been
actress?
Nominated the most times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. No, the most actually. If you want to take another stab before I throw it out
Daniel
there.
Day-Lewis is up there.
DDL is very high. He was my guess, but he is in like a 6-way tie for second.
It's not Frances McDormand, is it?
No, she is also in a 6-way tie for second.
Okay. Is it an older actor?
Yes, it is. It is someone whose heyday was before our time. Although they died while we were alive.
Is it male or female?
It's a female.
Okay.
The first one and the second one were the first one and the last one were almost 50 years apart. They were 48 years apart.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stumped. Well, it's definitely not Glenn Close, and she's never won.
It's Katharine Hepburn.
Okay, your girl. Okay.
No, not Audrey.
Oh, Catherine. Okay.
Yeah. So she won in 34 for Morning Glory, and then was nominated a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more times. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 more times.
And she
before she won again.
What else did she? How many did she have?
She ended up with 11 total, in which she won 4.
Holy shit! Yeah, that is a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry, 12. So she won in 34, was nominated in 36, 41, 43, 52, 56, 57, 60, and 63. She won in 68 for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And she won in 69 for The Lion in Winter, but it was a co-win with Barbra Streisand. I didn't know that was a thing. And then she also won in 1982 for On Golden Pond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a lot of old fogies got nominated for that, from what I've heard. Still need to see it.
And then she also was the leading actress against 3 of Hollywood's biggest men. Their only time they won the Oscar was acting with her, including Bogey, Jimmy Stewart, and I want to say it was Fonda. Henry Fonda was the other one.
Okay.
So just random, yeah, just random stuff. And she is not related to Audrey Hepburn because I did look that up.
Yeah, I got a little thrown by that at first. My first movie I saw her in was Philadelphia Story, and yeah, it was Hepburn. Yeah, I didn't
she was nominated
separate
for it,
Audrey and Catherine yet. So
yeah, she was nominated for Philadelphia Story and did not win. She was nominated for the African Queen, which Bogey won for, if I'm not mistaken.
She's really good in that screwball comedy. What was Bring Up Baby? Yeah, she's good in that one. She was in something else that I saw that I really appreciated her in, when she's kind of in an older role. But yeah, African Queen's good as well. Okay,
Yeah, she was. I mean, she still had like roles until like 1994 or something, and that was when she took like her only movie role where she wasn't the lead actress was in like the 90s when she was, like very old.
All right.
But yeah, now for you today.
Let's get into more of what we've been seeing lately in the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, my categories are An Epic Disappointment, Razzies Be Damned, and Southern Nick Cage. How about you?
Oh, I think I know what that one is. But we'll see if I'm right. So I had, and you're probably gonna know what all are, but we'll see. I have Movie Education, I have To Hell, and I have Bleeding Ears. I also didn't watch any movies for like 3 weeks until this week. So these are all in like the last 7 days.
Oh, to be first then. All right, tell me about Bleeding Ears.
Oh, because during the movie I commented on your review of the same movie.
Oh, this is your your scathing review of a Shakespeare movie that you didn't think was going to be in Shakespearean language?
Yeah, well, how many Shakespearean movies are still in Shakespearean language? It's also by the Coen brothers, who are known for their fucking whippy and like witty dialogue. It's the tragedy of Macbeth.
Well, actually, just from Joel Coen.
It's from a Coen brother.
Proceed.
Like Carl. My ears are still bleeding. I'm still cleaning up blood from my ears bleeding from having to listen to that.
Well, I mean, you're well acquainted with you've seen Throne of Blood, right?
I have. It's been quite a while now.
Well, the thing about Shakespeare movies is you just kind of know what's going on, and then you just kind of soak it in from there. Tell me about your beef, bro.
I haven't had any beef today, unfortunately, but I did have some beef yesterday. It was pretty delicious. Good old smash burger. But like all the actors and stuff were fine. Like literally, if this movie had been put in, any sort of modern language, it would probably have been one of like my favorite movies of the year.
Okay.
But you're all like, I can't watch subtitles because I can't read fast enough. It's like, dude, I can't process the fucking words that they're saying in the way that they're saying them because it sounds like it's from hundreds of years ago. Oh wait, because it is from hundreds of years ago, and we don't fucking talk like that anymore.
But it's the
okay. But see, when you read like Shakespeare in school and shit, there's usually a page, like pages at the back or pages beside it that translate it into modern English. That means we shouldn't be fucking talking like that in a movie. Just my 2 cents. I know people are probably going to come at me and be, oh, like, well, you just don't understand it. You're dumb. It's like, no, it's fucking, no. It was not fun or entertaining. And it just like took me out of the movie almost immediately. Like Carl was like, yeah, he was like, as soon as I realized the whole dialogue was going to be like this, he's like, I knew you were going to hate it. And I was like, yup, pretty much.
I've had my moments with the Shakespeare stuff. It depends on a lot about like how much you actually enjoy the story and actually need to like hear what's going on. Like I struggled with Othello a little bit because I mean it had these amazing visuals, but it was also like I wasn't that familiar with the story. So yeah, it's definitely harder to keep track of what's going on when it's in that. But if you're, I mean, I know Macbeth quite well, so I was mostly there to just kind of soak in like the performances and the visuals and stuff, and not so much the dialogue. So I can see where that could be a stumbling point for you. So it's unfortunate that
I mean, like technically, it was very minimalistic, it worked very well. It was in black and white, which worked very well. It was acted very well. I mean, Denzel and Frances McDormand, amongst others. Like, but no, just no, thank you. All right, let's see if I'm right. What is your epic disappointment?
That would be Jurassic World Dominion.
So, did you not hear like how bad this movie was before you went and saw it?
That doesn't matter. I have a 8-year-old who has been waiting to see this movie for years. So
okay, no. I get, I understand that, but like you're saying, you're disappointed at an epic level. But,
well, I mean, the premise for this movie was supposed to be like, dinosaurs, running amok all over the world. So you would think that would be like the central plot, and it's not. Spoilers, it's about this random company they just pull out of their ass who, as a side project, make these locusts that start eating up all the grain. And oh no, they can't control the locusts anymore, so they have to get the band back together to stop this non-dinosaur related threat. We get hints of the Bourne movies, we get hints of the 007 movies, and we get, dinos off to the side. It just felt like a movie made out of obligation, out of like a vision that like they were actually going for the whole time. I know a lot of people had the same complaints about Rise of Skywalker. I particularly thought that movie was fun, but this one I thought was just kind of, like I said, made out of obligation, and it had its moments, but for the most part, it just seemed like a bunch of like not so great choices.
Well, I did not like Fallen Kingdom at all. I thought that movie was like the movies are already ridiculous. Let's be real, but like it took ridiculousness to a whole new level. So I've not actually been super excited for this, other than maybe like Laura Dern and other guy being back, like the OGs being back. But yeah, that's the one. I heard nothing but just bad stuff about it, and then I read your review. But hey, maybe since you liked Rise of Skywalker, I don't know how, but maybe since you did, maybe and you didn't like this one, maybe that means I will like Jurassic World Kingdom bullshittery, whatever it's called, Dominion. Something, yeah.
Okay, enough said. So this is To Hell?
Yes, To Hell.
Okay.
Like, come and fight me at hell with my sword that I can only draw at night. As I kill you, uncle, for killing my father.
Oh, you watched The Princess Bride again? Inigo Montoya?
I'm going to kill you, uncle, for killing my father. I'm going to do it in a goddamn volcano.
You watched The Lion King?
Yes. Yes, I did. I did watch The Lion
King in the Form of the Northman.
Yes. One of those movies is much better than the other one.
Much better?
Yes, much better.
You didn't like The Northman?
No, I did, but Lion King is much better than it.
Okay,
proceed. It's much better. I mean, I know you read my review, so, so again, the movie, nothing about the movie is actually bad. It's shot well, it looks well, like it's acted well. I actually like Anya Taylor-Joy, unlike you. I like Alexander Skarsgård, but I don't know, something about it just did not resonate with me. Like, great movie, I would watch it again. I would tell people to go and watch it, that it's great. It just didn't just make me go, oh my god, this is like so great. I also did not like the ending. I thought the ending was kind of weak, but So,
Been
but
a
I mean,
few
I'm not
weeks
gonna be
since
like,
I saw it, but the Viking badassery was lovely.
I know some people I think wanted it to be closer to like the Viking version of like Braveheart or Gladiator or something, where you have these like really big, lots of fights and brutality and stuff. And there wasn't really that. There was some fight, like at the beginning and stuff, but it was definitely more of like slow and stalking and it was very atmospheric. Like I said, all of it was done very well. I actually have nothing bad to say about it. It just didn't something that didn't just click in me to make me like rate it higher, basically.
Yeah, I pointed that out as well about it whenever I was writing. It would have been nice to see him to go into berserker mode a few more times, but I mean the slow and subtle revenge plot was pretty cool too, especially whenever he was ripping shit apart. So yeah, cool to hear that you checked it out.
Oh yeah, that had been on the to watch for a while, and then it just happened to pop up that it was on Peacock, and I was like, oh, okay, well this is easy to watch now. Let's do it. All right, give me Southern Nick Cage.
All right, so I saw the that Con Air movie, which is a whole bowl of fun. How do I talk about this? Yeah, this is probably the best Michael Bay movie that he didn't actually make. And probably for the best because you can actually tell what's going on with the action because the camera's not constantly spinning. But yeah, this is a good old time. A lot of tongue-in-cheek humor there with Malkovich in the main role of Cyrus the Virus. I think one of my big complaints is that the whole Steve Buscemi thing is a little watered down, but at the same time, I don't think we wanted to see him rip apart that little girl into shreds in her little desert swimming pool tea party thing. Anywho, yeah, this is a great silly time. Die Hard in a plane, but with prisoners. What else to say about? I mean, a lot of fun with the cast there. You have Dave Chappelle. He goes away. He gets taken out a little too early, but he kind of helps amp up the comedy, makes it kind of credible. As we see John Cusack do his thing as the smartest guy on the ground character, and Nick Cage is trying to get back to his wife and daughter, beautiful blondes, but he has to do the right thing first. So Con Air. Need to see more movies like that because it's quite a bit of fun.
Awesome. So I watched a video randomly not that long ago about Con Air, and I'm trying to find it.
Oh, right. Yeah, you shared that with me.
Oh, I did share it with where it was about conservative, how it was like a conservative propaganda or something.
Yeah, how like each of the character represented like a different thing and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. It was
okay, I didn't remember if I shared it with you. Okay, cool. No, Con Air is great. Like just big dumb 90s action piece, like
crash
action
on
set
a Vegas
piece.
Strip. You think it's all done, but then they go on a fire truck chase at the end.
Name Nick Cage in Las Vegas. Name a more iconic duo.
There you go.
All right, so all
movie
I have
education,
left is movie education. So my friend Jenna usually comes over pretty regularly, and we watch different movies. And she takes mine and Carl's advice, and Carl tends to show her more of like maybe like auteur stuff or artsy stuff, and I'm more like, you know what? I think you would like this movie and this movie and this movie, and both of us do pretty well. Well, she hadn't been over in a while, and she randomly came over, and for some reason was like, let's watch Kill Bill. And then she came over the next day and we watched Kill Bill 2. And so that was some movie education. And it's some Tarantino education because she's now up to like 3 or 4. She said 4, but we couldn't figure out what else besides those 2 on Pulp she had seen. But she was so invested into why they were beeping out Beatrix's name. Like until the second movie. So when they finally like revealed her name, she freaked out. And she also was like, oh, that's why Bill is calling her kiddo, because it's her last name, because like she was grossed out that he was old, but they were together, and then he was calling her kiddo. we get to the last scene, and I stopped watching the movie. I just turn and watch her, and like the jaw drop on her face at the reveal at the end of the first movie, like it was fantastic. It was great. Not that I need a reason to watch, my favorite movie of all time, but it was fun.
That's awesome. You get to see someone else's epic reaction.
Right? That's always the best. All right. So why are you telling the Razzies to be damned?
All right, so I kind of put off this last Duel movie after I heard a bunch of criticism about who was it, Ben Affleck in this movie. But no, this is a really good movie. It's a Ridley Scott, so a lot like Gladiator, especially in the action sequences. It's this Rashomon-esque story, so we get the same basic story from 3 different points of view, but instead of it like people recalling it completely differently, it's more so like you see their feelings to these actions. So it's really interesting to see. Like at first it's kind of hard to get in the groove as we follow Matt Damon's character with this whole like long running dispute he has with Adam Driver's character, and then we see how his Matt Damon's wife is involved, and how he ends up having to fight for her honor based out of accusations. So, yeah, some really, really good feminist stuff in here that's wrapped in kind of this more hardcore medieval action flick. And then by the end, I was like kind of on the edge of my seat because I did not know who was going to prevail. And yeah, it was quite a good artsy action movie, with the medieval stuff in there. So I was quite pleased with The Last Duel. My buddies Marvin123 suggested I watch it, and I put it off for far too long. It's right there on HBO Max for you.
So this movie like won Razzies, like it was panned that hard?
It got nominated. Ben Affleck got nominated for worst actor at the Razzies, yeah. And it's mostly because he has kind of this goofy looking goatee that's dyed blonde. So yeah, they have to find something to make fun of each year, and that was one of them.
Okay, sure. Like no, that movie looks what I remember of it looked awesome. It's got a great cast, it's got a great director. Like not saying it can fail, because we've definitely seen that happen before, but like seems like it'll be pretty good. So I'm looking forward to cracking into that eventually here, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yep, I hear that. Okay, let's get into that featured movie. The category you gave me was a film from 1985. Was looking through quite a few options, but I ended up going with this Runaway Train deal. It is an American independent action thriller starring Jon Voight, Eric Roberts. The screenplay was based on an original screenplay from Akira Kurosawa, who intended it to be his first color film after Redbeard, but some financial issues. He was involved in like Tora Tora Tora, and that went belly up. For him at least. And then, yeah, he was trying to make this Runaway Train movie. Didn't work out. He was actually almost to the point of killing himself. And then he later went on to make Tedescaden, which we talked about in a previous season. But, yeah, so all those reasons above are ones that are factors in me picking this movie, which I also spotted it on this list of, like, some of the underrated movies from that year. The story concerns 2 escaped convicts and a female assistant locomotive driver who are stuck on a runaway train barreling through the desolate Alaska wilderness trying to dodge, other trains. So, let's get into it then. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid movie. It definitely has 80s cheese and some low budget feel to it, but you can kind of feel that Kurosawa kind of writing in there from time to time. It's delivered a little cornier than you'd probably want to see it, but for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good time. Initial thoughts, my good sir?
This is my initial thought. How anyone, much less 2 people, got nominated for acting in this movie is beyond me, because fucking Jon Voight and Eric Roberts were definitely just in a big pile of ham, sucker. Sucker.
I think
Sucker.
Roberts did better than Voight. Voight was like way over the top, but
Yes, it like, and maybe it was the copy that I borrowed, but it definitely, like, it seemed like their lines were almost like it was their voices, but they were just dubbed over themselves. I know that's not what it was, but it's almost what it sounded like. And then you had Eric Roberts doing his fucking best Matty Mac impersonation, just that deep Southern drawl. It took me like halfway through the movie, and I'm like, man, he sounds like somebody, and I couldn't fucking put my finger on it. And all of a sudden, it was just like he said "all right" or something, and I was like, oh, it's fucking Matty Mac. So, see, you say this was on an underrated movies of 1985 list. I feel like this should be on an overrated movies of all time list. Maybe not of all time, but definitely of 1985, because it was not very good at all.
Oh, that's...
Like you said, you saw where like Kurosawa. No, I saw nothing. Like I was just like, God damn, I wish this was a Kurosawa movie. It would have been so much better.
You can cut. You didn't feel any like artsy stuff kind of intended in the script. I mean, we'll get there.
No,
but
not even a little bit.
Oh, come on. All right. Anyways, let's get into the plot a little bit. So, it kicks off kind of a confusing, disheveled way, as this one guy is like celebrating the fact that this guy has won an appeal to where he's not going to be in solitary confinement anymore. I guess he was, he wins this appeal and is brought back into the normal prison population. Now, this place is kind of a out of control shithole, right from the beginning, because we have like all these cell doors open, and we got like flaming paper getting thrown all over the place. This is quite the rowdy prison, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they were definitely rioting. Definitely unhappy, and to keep one prisoner like in solitary for 3 years is a little crazy, and that actually kind of sets up because no one in this movie is good. Like maybe Rebecca de Mornay's character is good, and like the people at the train station or whatever, but like the warden,
the guys trying to stop the
good.
train were solid. But yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, and just they let him back into like population. He's like this revered like king, essentially. Like he's the head honcho of the prison, not really the warden.
Tried to escape a couple times. This is probably worse than Alcatraz being surrounded by.
A couple times, they said.
Right. Well, they obviously nabbed him. I'm not sure how far he got, but I mean, like what I was about to say is it's almost worse than Alcatraz being there in the middle of basically the tundra. So pretty isolated.
Did they say they were in Alaska? Because I never thought I heard them say where they were. So I just thought with like some of the accents, that they were in like New York or Rhode Island or Maine or somewhere. But
yeah, it says Alaska off the top, and then I saw that again when I was looking at the plot. So yeah, definitely Alaska.
Okay, well that makes sense to it being cold.
Did you see? Did you notice any of that awkward sped up motion they had at times throughout?
Not that I can
scene,
recall.
Like whenever the Roberts guy was in this boxing match, and one of the guys like acting as like a round announcers, like jumping up and down, and it's like in rapid motion. It was very strange at points with that, and some of the train stuff they did that as well. Man, Voight almost feels like a whole other person with his like sewn up eye and his like teeth and his accent. Yeah, he's quite out there. And, he's raging against the system because in that very corny thing after the warden tries to kill him, he's like, I'm right here, you can't do anything about it. Stuff. So very over the top. So yeah, I agree that they probably shouldn't have been nominated here, but curious to know more about the context of that. I did notice some pretty cool cinematography off the top, though, especially with like the camera like being right in front of the warden as he's like marching in there. So overall, pretty well made movie, I thought, from a visual standpoint at least. Some of the production design, not as good, but I mean it is a wilderness train movie. So what you got next?
whatever. I guess this is where we're going. We're moving to the escape now, and oh well, in the boxing scene, the warden like tries to kill John Voight's character, like just shoots him, just has the guard shoot him. And I'm like, they don't allow guns in the fucking prison. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I guess he was like shooting shot. Was it a shotgun that was one? Yeah, whenever they try to assassinate him.
It was a rifle, I think. Because I mean, they shot him like in the hand and in the arm or something. Yeah, and then that was after someone like had tried to kill him, and someone tried to kill him, and then they shot the other guy that was killing that guy. It was, I don't know, it's like fucking weird, and not super great. And then I guess we fast forward to him deciding he's like, I'm out, and he goes to escape, and Eric Roberts was going to help him, and then decided to join him, and then much like every prison movie, they escape through the sewer.
Well, let's see. He kind of wheels them out in that, like, I guess it's like a laundry cart or whatever.
Yeah, because his job was that he was the laundryman.
And I thought that this part was kind of rushed. I didn't really see what their connection was, other than that he was like in a mire. But it kind of gets on track when they finally escape. It was cool to see him talking to the late Tom Lister, who I think played Debo from the Friday movie. Was at least in that series. Not sure how many of the movies he was in. But yeah, it's fun to see him like kind of sweet talk his way into the elevator, gives him some shoes. Not sure how he got those nice Adidas's up in Alaska, but he did. And so he's getting some favors.
I mean, I'm sure somewhere Red must have been hanging out, and he can get anything, so.
Yeah. Nothing like some male bonding by greasing up and wrapping up with a cling wrap. I guess that was to like slip through the bars, even though they like pried them apart. Okay.
I mean, they didn't pry them apart very far. Also, I like that they pried them apart with a car jack. Like you're like, where did they get shoes? I'm like, where the fuck did they get a car jack? Like.
Well, he didn't have shoes. I don't know why he didn't bring shoes, or he took them off and forgot them. I don't know what happened, but I do enjoy how there's the whole, it's like an Alaskan setting where it really amps up the sense of danger. Since I mean, if they're going to be out in the outside too long, they're definitely going to get some frostbite. So add some good stakes urgency to the matter. But yeah, our buddy Joey knows all about wandering off into the snow without any shoes, right?
Yeah, so do you, brother.
I
was in Rainbows. Yeah, you were the one that was wearing socks and Birkenstocks.
I was in Birkenstocks.
Yeah, walking up Cherry Road, Cherry Street to the Walgreens to get
in a blizzard.
Chips and basically a blizzard for us, 16.5 inches of snow. Yeah. I would like to point out that after this point of the movie, this point of the movie shouldn't, because they come out of the sewer into a river that they're in for quite a long time, and then they're miles and miles in the snow, and Eric Roberts has no shoes. He tells you that 100 times. Like, these guys are dead. Like, they're just dead. Also,
had the will to survive.
It was like minus 10 degrees outside. I feel like I remember hearing or something. And I'm like, I don't know that at minus 10 degrees that river would be flowing and wouldn't just be ice, and they fell 100 feet and would have just died hitting the ice. But that's just me. Like, it was a dumb 80s action movie. So, I mean, look, Roadhouse is a dumb 80s action movie, but that movie is great. Or, Kickboxer or Bloodsport. But this is none of those movies.
Pretty cheesy 80s music throughout, except for that like toward the climax there was a pretty cool track that came on whenever the helicopter was running up on the runaway train. So Voight just happens to pick once they finally do get to like the train yard or whatever, Roberts gets some shoes. He decide it all comes down to what train to pick, and they just happen to jump on the one where the engineer dies of a heart attack right away, but they don't know. They're just talking about life there in the car as it keeps
and it's like four engines combined, and then the engineer knows something is wrong and like tries to hit the brakes, but it ends up breaking them later or something. I don't.
Well, he only hits the one set of brakes, and so that those brakes wear out because I guess like you were saying, like it's a bunch of engines like put together and they're like all like synced up to where you can't control the ones without going to the front one, or I don't know how trains work, but that's the plot of the movie. So they're on a runaway train. Definitely could have been a shorter movie if they would have somehow had a way to inform everybody that worked for the railroad system that there was this situation going on. But no, they have to call each of them individually to explain this crisis situation.
Or, the fact that all we needed was like, man, let's go get a helicopter and go what's happening. And, maybe we can drop someone onto the train to control it. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, we do drop someone onto the train at the end. But it's not someone to control the train. God, can we just go to the next movie? This movie, talking about this, infuriating me.
Oh, no. At least we're not talking about the tragedy in Macbeth.
Oh, you'd be talking all by yourself. Probably worse than when we talked about Dogville.
Such a negative Nancy tonight. Such a negative Nancy.
Oh no, I'm gonna say very good things about the next movie, but this movie was not. It was very meh.
See, every time I try to pick a movie that I think you might be down with, I'm like, just always,
the premise.
Misstepping.
There was promise. So you had original screenplay by Kurosawa. You had two guys who normally play bad guys, and they're playing bad guys. It is an 80s action movie. But this one, there was a reason we had never heard of it. It's because it's not very good.
I did enjoy the camera work throughout, but although there's this one like overhead shot where you can obviously tell like the snow's fake. So just to throw that out there. We meet this engineer lady who's blowing on the whistle, where she basically clues them in that they can't escape by jumping off the train and they can't get up to the front of the train. So she's basically there to give us our train knowledge. Although I guess the people trying to slow the train down, well, I guess they didn't have the same insights as her. So eventually the big bad associate warden.
They didn't know as much about the train so much as they knew about the rail system and how it was made to prevent trains from hitting each other, and because it was like a high-tech train system, but they, I guess, weren't engineers of the train, of the trains themselves, of the engines.
The like you had teased before, the big bad associate warden Rankin sends his man down onto the train with that helicopter ladder. So in the end, Voight, let's see, he goes barreling off into what the cold, icy void, as we get little shots of people behind bars, showing that theme of he'd rather die free than live caged up like an animal.
Actually, I thought that was the warden that was in the train at the end.
But Voight was on top of the train.
Oh, yeah, but he said he sent his man down in there. I thought that was the warden who he trapped in the thing and was like, nah, I would rather die than... Like, he's like, you'll die, and he's like, yeah, but so will you. So, like...
Right.
He wouldn't have cared about killing, like, a guard like that. I'm pretty sure that was the warden.
Yeah, you're right, the warden. The guy working for the warden, he falls or something and gets, like, sucked up underneath, right? Something like that.
Maybe.
Yes, he handcuffs the warden inside the train and basically...
with one hand, because he gruesomely smashed his hand in the hinge. Yes. I do remember that. Mm-hmm. And so, like, his whole hand is... Like, it was already had a hole through it, and now all the fingers are gone. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, they showed it, and they showed, like, it crushing, and I was like, are they just going to act like his hand didn't get crushed in there? And then all the blood shoots out, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, they got that.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, a bit of a... I mean, you can kind of get a sense what's going to happen, but, I mean, they kind of give this ambiguous little sense to it where, he's on top of the train, and he's riding off to his death or whatever, and Roberts and the girl get left behind. But like when I'm talking about like Kurosawa beats in the script, I mean there's the whole part about like technology has failed us and now these people are gonna die. It's lines like that, and you guys are worse or are not humans, you're animals. And then later on, Voight's like, actually, we're actually humans because humans are worse than animals. And little lines like that have a little theming to them. So I can definitely see where Kurosawa probably would have executed all that stuff a lot better. But I appreciate that it was still there in some extent. It would have been really neat to see. I'm not sure if this would have actually been an American movie had Kurosawa helmed it. So curious to know that. But yeah, I agree that he probably would have made this definitely a lot less cheesier for the 80s. Do I have anything else? Oh, yeah, that Richard III quote enforces the whole, it's worse to be a human than an animal because, humans do shitty things to each other. Yeah, I have you ever seen Unstoppable with, was it Chris Pine?
I have not.
Okay.
Nope.
Very, very, very similar movie. Yeah, Runaway Train kind of stuff there. So I would probably give it about...
Is it Never Coming Back?
Is it Never Coming Back?
Runaway Train? Never. It's a song. Anyway, continue.
On a way on its one-way track.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'd give this 3.5. I was entertained, and it had some spunk in the script, but I mean, pretty cheesily acted, like you had noted.
Yeah, no, 3.5 is about where like I think Letterboxd had it. I think I saw it was like 3.6. I gave it 2 because, yeah, I did not find the same things pleasing or that you did. So, I do not recommend unless you just gotta like you need to complete your Eric Roberts movie watching experience or something.
Which no one does. Anywho, after the break, we're going to poke fun at old Hollywood, Coen Brothers style. Stay with us. Back on the Average Joe's Movie Club cast, talking about Joey's Wheel of Destiny pick, Hail Caesar from 2016. This is a comedy film from the Coen Brothers. It stars, get ready for this, Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Alden Ehrenreich, Ralph Fiennes, Jonah Hill, kinda, Scarlett Johansson, kinda, Frances McDormand, yeah, briefly, Tilda Swinton, times 2, and Channing Tatum, just because. It's a fictional story that follows the real-life fixer Eddie Mannix, played by Brolin, working in the Hollywood film industry of the 1950s, trying to discover what happened to the star of his biblical epic that his studio is filming. So it sounds like you enjoyed this quite a bit. I think this is a pretty good show. So what are your initial first impressions?
So I don't think it's like top tier Coen Brothers. It's not No Country, which also has Josh Brolin. It's not Oh Brother.
Yep.
Which I still need to see actually, but I remember thinking it was good. And obviously it's not
Clooney in that one.
It's not Fargo. It's Frances McDormand, because she's like in all of their movies, which we also did Fargo in season 2, I think. Season 1, I don't know. We did it at some point.
Something like that.
And it's not Lebowski, but like I think it's pretty good, honestly. I thought there was going to be more Scarlett Johansson in the movie, because from what I remember, she was like in all the marketing. And if you're on Letterboxd and you're a patron and you get the pictures, she's in the picture. So I thought she was going to be like the main female person in this movie, and she was in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty cool role.
Yeah. It was, one of the other cool things was to hear George Clooney's character, because he's the I guess him and Josh are the two leads. But he's the lead of the movie Hail Caesar, which is inside Hail Caesar. Hear him talking about like Clark Gable and just calling him Clark. So that was kind of a cool little touch. I mean, I'm really grown to like old Hollywood, and I mean, I guess this is kind of the definition of a movie, like a meta movie. It's a movie about movies. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta love the fact that it's a neo-noir, right? And it's talking about other famous Hollywood genres like westerns and musicals and sword and sandal epics. So yeah, poking fun at the old golden age of Hollywood.
And Josh Brolin does those kind of roles. I mean, like he was, Gangster Squad was like in that same time period in L.A., which we also did in a previous episode. Or it wasn't in L.A. necessarily, but Inherent Vice, he wasn't a fixer, but he was that hard-nosed cop kind of guy. So even a little bit, it kind of reminded me and I don't remember why, but I remember thinking there was one part that reminded me a little bit of like No Country. Oh, where he had the sack full of money. So
sure.
Yeah.
A lot of briefcases full of money in the Coens filmography. Did it feel like some stuff got cut out of here? Because like the start was the ScarJo and Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum are just so brief, and then random stuff happened to them later, and it's just like, I mean, as nice as it is that this is what a cool like hour 40-ish kind of thing. I could have gone for at least 2 hours to get this a little bit more rounded out.
Yeah, there had been some other stuff. I mean, it could have fleshed it out. I mean, like honestly, I loved Channing Tatum's the musical number where he was the sailor, and like
yeah, that was really cool.
It was really funny, and like just poked fun at sailors are gay.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then like I kind of suspected in the one scene where you see Jonah Hill, and he's in one of the few scenes Scarlett Johansson's in there, that they were going to end up together, but I figured we'd see a date or something, and then they just kind of mentioned it like to the side. And we'll get to it, I guess, but the sub was probably the most random thing out of everything.
Yeah.
So and Newman was in this movie for like
he
3 seconds.
He was the one that poisoned him, right?
Yeah. He was in the movie for like 3 seconds. So
I guess if we would have had a date with ScarJo and Jonah, it would probably felt just like the cowboy and the other actress dating. So maybe some redundancy there.
I mean, maybe, but maybe their date would have been more because she definitely was I guess portrayed as slutty, I guess, kind of. She'd already had a couple of marriages. She was pregnant out of wedlock, but she was supposed to be, the good girl image. So maybe their date wouldn't have been a like, oh, we're going out to dinner date. It would have been like, we're staying in the bedroom date. I don't know. It just, I mean, like you said, probably could have put some more stuff in here or there, but maybe not. It all depends.
I think one of my favorite scenes had to be between Alden Ehrenreich and Ralph Fiennes. Whenever he's this cowboy trying to play a more artsy role, and he can't get the accent down whatsoever. That was quite fun to watch with subtitles, as you see like the funny version with the accent and the just the regular what it's supposed to say. So that got quite a kick out of that.
And he couldn't get rid of his draw like at all. But then they had him sing, and he sang pretty well as well. So they had like the two kind of musical spots, which I was not really expecting. Those were great.
Got a big kick out of what he could do with his lasso, as he just kind of whipped out his rope and started jumping around and using his posture, whatever. Yeah, that was pretty cute with him on the date. And then Tilda Swinton, she plays both a regular journalist and a gossip columnist, and so she's running around trying to bug Brolin for big tips. And
then like don't both their characters, both their names start with like T or something, like Yeah, because they're twins, so of course their names have to start with the same letter, and
Yep, and he kind of gets them confused, and so. Hi, Jinx and Sue. I thought it's pretty hilarious whenever Clooney figures out that he's been kidnapped by a bunch of communist writers, and they're talking about everything wrong with the system. Kind of reminds me of a guy I know pretty well that likes to post memes about similar complaints with society.
I don't know who that could be. I don't know anybody who posts memes. Who would post memes?
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't.
Moving on. Yeah, you loved it. Tell us about it.
I mean, oh man, let's see. I did the submarine. I think is the kind of thing now that this is just they get the $100,000, and you got to think this is like in the 40s, or I guess the 50s.
50s,
late
yeah.
40s, early 50s, because communists is we're fighting the commies. So the sub
blacklist.
Yeah, the sub just pops up,
there.
and Channing Tatum turned out to be the leader of all the commies, and then he just gets on the ship, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you this money to take back to Soviet Russia," and then he drops it to save his little yap dog, which I'm sure would not have survived on the sub anyway.
Yep. And I got a kick out of how stoic he looks. He almost has like this George Washington on a boat kind of look to him as they're paddling.
Yeah,
out
he's just
to
standing on the front
submarine.
with like his leg up, and just I don't know. The whole thing is like over the top, but not so over the top that it's ridiculous.
It's just kind of cheeky.
Yeah, and like you see Mannix, and he kind of just does everything, and then he's like he's a fixer, but he's like clean stuff up. He do this to this script, or do this or do that, and he just has so many hats to wear, and you think he's kind of the shitty guy, and then you do see that like he feels bad that he's still sneaking cigarettes, or he was
sells conscience.
Yeah, and then he was like late to dinner, like missing his kid's his kid's baseball game. So, but
constantly going to confession, and feeling the need to be cleansed of the neglecting his family. And then what Clooney lays into him about like how the studio is mistreating the employees, and he gives them the what to.
Yeah, he just gives him just beats the shit out of him essentially. But I do think it's just interesting where he's upset that he's missing all of this stuff with the family, and him and his wife are talking about how he has these long days, and she's even like, yeah, I would like if you take this other job because it would be less hours, but you know what's best. And so he ends up, even though he like is upset with himself for missing all of these things, he sticks with this job, I guess, where he feels like he does more than the job that would set him up financially. He would work less, he would be with his family more. It's just kind of an interesting oxymoronic kind of thing there, or hypocrisy to a degree, I guess, if you wanted to go that hardcore on it. But
it's kind of funny. I mean, I didn't work in the film industry, but I worked in a TV station, and I took a nice, better paying, more relaxed job with a defense contractor. So definitely can see what he was going through there, but I guess he should have taken the job. Although, it was kind of cool, the power that he did have with the studio and being like the go-to guy. And, he got those sneak peeks at the movie, so he had his own little perks.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he just called up and was like, give me $100,000, like right now. And they're like, oh, okay, sure. Like, they didn't even ask. And pretty much other than the guy who was in New York, he was the boss in Cali, in LA, so.
What else to say? Yeah, I didn't take a whole, like, my typical, like, I kind of revisited my original thoughts, and since I just watched this a couple hours ago, I just kind of wanted to surf off some of your initial impressions. I mean, it's a pretty quick watch. I mean, it kind of all flows through. It's all pretty entertaining. I guess people panned it when it came out just because, it's not as, not like their top tier movies. I mean, it's not Lebowski, it's not Fargo, but it's what they do, just kind of in a simple little satire about early Hollywood. So good time. I think I would drop my rating from a 4 to about a 3.5 though, just because, I mean, like I said, it's enjoyable but kind of forgettable at the same time. Even though it does, say what it needs to say, and it's pretty effective in doing so.
I mean, I think 3.5 to 4. Like, I feel like that's about the right rating. I gave it a 4. I might would change if I watched it again, but I mean, I gave it a 4. Like, I mean, it's got good leading actors. For the most part, I like the Coen brothers. So, with the exception of the one movie that we talked about earlier, even though that was a Coen brother, not the Coen brothers, but you understand what I mean. So,
yes, thanks for making that distinction. What else do I want to say here? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I came into this movie hearing how terrible it was. So to fear that it's, pleasantly, quick and witty and pokes fun of stuff that I'm familiar with. Yeah. So from that perspective, I thought it was a good time. Wasn't expecting to watch it again so soon, but it pretty much played exactly like it did the first time. So that's always interesting to find out as well. All right. We're going to start wrapping up the show?
Yeah, let's go. So you gave me the category of pick from your classic movies list that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So I had a few contenders based off of like who was in them or what they were about. You had a couple of John Ford movies, which meant they were also John Wayne movies. You had one with John Wayne and James Stewart. You had a couple of things. Shanghai Express jumped out, but I bet you could guess which one I picked.
It's probably going to be the one with Bogey in it, and so let me bring up that list.
You're right, it's Key Largo. It's the one with Bogey.
Okay. And I think I had mentioned the last time that was one of Tarantino's go-tos.
Yeah, you have Rebel Without
about.
The only one of these that I had seen already that's on your list was Rebel Without a Cause.
Okay.
So, but whenever you watch that, let me know because it's definitely. Well, I guess it's not just in that, but there's there's stuff that's referenced in La La Land to that, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I did.
All right,
I did pick Key Largo by John Huston with Bogey and Lauren Bacall, so I am pretty stoked to watch another Bogey movie.
Yeah. What's your Wheel of Destiny have us?
Your spin. I spun Hail Caesar.
You spun Hail Caesar. Yeah, that's how this works again.
Only this is the last episode we're doing it this way. It's fine.
Yes. Why don't you fill in our listeners on what we have planned coming up for season 4?
So season 3, this coming episode will be the finale. So season 4, we're gonna change it up. We're not really gonna number them too much anymore, and we're gonna just pick movies. And Justin, are we each picking a movie for each episode, or are we just picking like it's one movie an episode, or we still just each gonna pick a movie for?
I think we should each pick a movie at least at first and see how that feels. Maybe I can't believe we've actually gotten to the point where we're only doing this once a month, but yeah, maybe if we're
well, summer I know is very
freedom to pick exactly what we want to watch.
Yeah,
it might be a little easier.
It'll be a little easier. I mean, that was also summertime I know is busy for you because you have so much stuff to do with the kids not being in school and whatnot too. So because we always slow down during the summer vacations and different things.
Yeah.
So
okay, 1 through 42 generate. 41, I am not taking that because that's Google being stupid. 13, that's more like it. Lucky not number 13 is Inner Space.
Inner Space.
Interesting. Yes, this is from Joe Dante from 1987. It stars Dennis Quaid and Martin Short, and it is a quirky little sci-fi movie that I've always been interested in checking out. Test pilot Tuck Pendleton volunteers to test a special vessel for a miniaturization experiment. We're going to talk all about it.
Ooh, interesting. I guess I need to give you a category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I totally kind of fucking dropped the ball, and I don't have one ready. So let's just do
Okay.
anything off my Wheel of Destiny list that you want to watch.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what might be some of the top contenders in this barely over an hour episode we've done.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Nothing wrong with that. We got through it.
Got time to kill. Yeah. Oh shoot! I forgot to talk about.
Ooh.
I kind of put off this episode
Actually,
for a little while. Oh.
Let me change that. Let's not do off my Wheel of Destiny list. I want you to go to my movies I own but haven't seen list. So these would be movies that I physically own but have not watched. And it's a much bigger list. It's like 150 movies versus 40 movies. So
a few weeks ago, I did 2 podcasts on back-to-back days. Normally probably shouldn't have been too big of an ordeal, but I had basically lost my voice out of a really, really bad man cold I got. So I was basically jamming down cough syrup and what are those things? Cough drops. Just attempting to have somewhat of a voice. So you can check those out on our channel and the Criterion Creeps channel.
yes, the one you did with Paul was pretty good. It is a long watch, but it is good. And I definitely would recommend checking it out. But you definitely can tell that you're not feeling great in that one. I think you even mentioned it, but
Oh yeah, I think both of them gave me some shouts out there. Okay, movies that you own but have not seen.
yes.
Do.
And it's all over the place too. Oh man. So, all over the place.
It's been a while since you've updated it?
No. It's been a few weeks because I haven't watched anything, but I made this list to start going through my movies. So like Despicable Me 3's up near the top. That'll probably be because that's in the Mojo 100. That'll probably come real soon. But I just meant that like the type of movies are all over the place.
Okay, yeah, I missed it on the first go around.
So
all right, so 2046. That's Wong Kar-wai.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool to see there.
I mean, yeah. So
poking out.
There,
you could always watch Click. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of Criterions in here for you to pick from. I mean, there's the Zatoichi box set, which I've only watched 2 movies from. There's the Bruce Lee box set, Once Upon a Time in China box set. The dude who did Umbrellas from Cherbourg, his box set. So, and then,
I've always been curious about Donkey Skin. That's here.
I've got like all the
Bruce Lee action.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple Miyakes. I've got just all sorts of stuff. It's kind of all over the place, like I said. So
let's do something fun.
I mean, you got time.
Do the sorter. Okay, that's the highest rated movie on this list, based on average rating, is Hoop Dreams, followed by M and Interstellar, Happy Together, and The Leopard. Oh, Roots.
See it. And
Roots is like 10 hours long, isn't it?
Roots is because it's like a mini series, but it's 588 minutes. So yeah, that's almost 10 hours. Probably not that.
You haven't seen Duel at Gonru Island yet?
Nope. I've seen the first 2.
Gracious.
Well, that one I kind of have to wait. Like,
Oh, you saw the E19 temple or whatever.
yeah,
it
I've seen
was?
the first two. I just haven't seen that one yet. So, yeah.
And some of these Zatoichi covers are pretty. There's one of these Zatoichi covers that's like a guy getting massaged.
Yeah, that
kinda
probably sounds about
bizarre.
right. Yeah. So,
Huh? Do those get hammy at some point?
I mean, I've only watched the first two, and they were pretty good. I mean, they're probably gonna. I mean, they're just silly action movies, so they probably will.
You
But
haven't seen Man of Steel?
nope, I have not seen Man of Steel
Huh.
for
Till the clouds roll by.
for four reasons.
Oz the Great and Powerful. Leprechaun 3. We could have a schlock talk.
Oh yeah, well, I
Have
mean,
you not seen Ang Lee's The Hulk?
yeah, I did Schlock Talk on Leprechaun 1, so yeah.
Okay. This definitely opens up the proverbial door.
And Roots is the
on
longest.
Lots of choices.
Roots is the longest. Gone with the Wind is up there. My Fair Lady is up there. Man of Steel, Interstellar. So
Cool. Yeah, we'll have tune in next time to see what we'll pick. Yeah, so your pick
Well,
was Key Largo and
so if we're gonna no, this doesn't even matter, because if that next episode is the last one for the season, and we start season 4 just picking what we want, there is no category to pick from. We're just picking what we want. So this has all been irrelevant.
but I'll still pick. I'll still pick from the list to kick things off, just to be fair.
I mean, yeah, sure,
I'm sure there's something on there I want to see.
probably. I mean, by the time we record again, it might be a little bit smaller. It'll be fine.
That's what she said.
Haha.
But yes, Inner Space and Key Largo will be the films of interest. So, yeah, we are diving into a new season soon where we'll be picking just whatever we want to watch. So that means you could probably influence us quite a bit by getting in touch with us. How, Joey?
They can email us at theaveragejoesmovieclubcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page, which just lets you click an email automatically. We're both on Letterboxd. We're both on Twitter. The show's on Twitter. All those handles will be in the description. It's like The Average Joe's or The Average underscore. Or no, the website's or ours, the site. God damn, I can't talk all of a sudden. The show's Twitter handle, there we go, English, is like VAJMCC. And then mine's like Average Joe underscore E. Yeah. So then the movie Justin 198. That sounds right. But yeah, we're all there. All those ways. We do want to hear from you guys. We love getting feedback. So whether it's a comment in somewhere or a suggestion, it would be good to hear from you guys. We would appreciate it greatly. And
So,
Justin,
Joey, why do we do this show? Oh, do you want me to?
because we
You do the
love talking about movies.
We do. Ooh. Good night, everyone.
Laters.